Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and of course, you are listening to or watching the intro podcast. Today, we are solo dolo for show. But that's neither here nor there. I'm excited about today's show. We have a plethora of things to talk about. I am excited. We are shooting today out of our Fort Worth, Texas studios. So we are actually we're building on a lot of what we've been able to do over the years. If you've been following Spotlight Media Group, well, first of all, let me say yes, I am still wearing my compression sleeve, but I will share with you guys a story about this compression sleeve in just a moment. But back to the introduction. I'm excited to have you guys with us today. Again, I'm solo dolo, but neither here nor there. I am just excited to be able to share with you guys on today's episode. It's been a minute since I've actually done a live show, but it's even been a little bit longer since we've been able to actually produce the podcast due to things that life has been lifing for the most part. I mean, let's just be real about it. Life has been lifing, but I am victorious on top of it all. I am grateful that in the midst of everything that's been going on in my personal life or in the life of the business, that we are still able to stand and do what we do. Just in case you are watching, I definitely want to talk with you. I want to speak to you. Let me know that you are watching so I can shout you out. Let the world know that you are a part of what makes us great here at Spotlight Media Group and the Intro Podcast. This week has been phenomenal. My The church that I attend in Fort Worth, Texas, Christ Cathedral Church. We have been in a prophetic summit conference since this past Sunday. This is their 30th year doing it, but it's my first year attending. So I came into this totally unaware of what would be going down, but when I tell you this conference has been nothing short of amazing due to the fact that God has shown up in every single service. We started Sunday with Dr. Ruby Holland, and Monday and Tuesday we had the praiseologist, the Bishop Todd Hall. I want to put a pause right there just on Todd Hall. Well, no, let's go back to Dr. Ruby Holland. I That was my first time hearing her preach and hearing her sing. And I must say that I was amazed at the woman of God. She is so gifted and so talented on so many different levels that it is unbelievable. We were able to, like I say, she was here with us this past Sunday. The word of God that she gave us was precise and was clear. But my night where God literally first started talking to me was on the Monday night with the prophet Todd Hall. I was standing on the side of the wall with the camera because those of you who've been to the service, those of you who know me in general, know that I do a lot with media with a camera, and I was on the wall doing media work for the ministry, and Prophet Hall just out of nowhere, before he got into the hall of his message, was like, "Is there Gilmore in the house?" And in myself, I'm looking around wondering, is there anybody else named Gilmore in here before I actually, step out and say, "Hey, there's me." Uh, but there wasn't, and he was actually talking to me. There's a video that's on TikTok right now that's probably right around 2,000 views or whatever. But what ended up happening that night, whenever he called me up to speak, he spoke some major things in my life, from um, the hate crime victim to the Bell's palsy that I've been dealing with for almost a year. But even more, he spoke into what he saw in me, what God showed him in me entertainment wise, as opposed to writing and producing, which encouraged me to even more and even quicker get online and do a show like this, because um, I don't know. I was just in amazement because I didn't, like I said, I've never ever heard him speak before in person. I've seen a lot of videos on social media, and those videos did him justice. But when it came down to just seeing the man that got in here in person and seeing how he operates was phenomenal. He called me out and told me literally my whole entire life within the last 2 to 3 years, and he was crisp and precise and on point. Last night we had Prophetess Barbara Calloway. Oh my God. Prophetess Calloway, she has one of those voices that once you hear it, you are not going to forget it. And you'll look for every time. It doesn't matter where I am. Whenever I hear that voice, I know that it's her. I watched God move last night on all the pastors and the evangelists and all the ministers. She called them up on the pulpit, and I saw the Spirit of God sweep throughout that whole entire pulpit and then pulled everybody else to the altar. And I saw how God moved in the altar, and people were repenting and getting back close with God. So that was exciting. I think one of the things that stuck out about what she was preaching about was, God, whatever you do, don't stop speaking to me, because we're in a time and a place right now where there's so many other voices that are trying to be prevalent in the world, of being prevalent in our ears, that it's important to make sure that whatever we are hearing, something has to come from God, because we'll get sidetracked or we'll get fooled by things or by other people that we hear that claim to be Christian or that claim to have our best interest at heart or claim to know what they're doing or what they're saying. And in reality, they have no clue at all. But I'm excited that she preached that message, and it was something that I can go back over for a very, very long time. Night before we had Prophet S.Y. Younger, I wasn't able to be present in service for that just due to the amount of things that we had to do to get ready. But the church, the house was packed. Put it like that. It was everything. I believe that we are going to be in a wonderful situation tonight. We have Valerie Moore in the house tonight, and I am very familiar with her just by. When I say I'm very familiar with her, I'm familiar with her by social media. I'm familiar with her by the TikTok videos that I've seen of her, and how God has used her just in the lives of people all around the U.S. She's one of those people who I'm going to be in the front row again on tonight, because I need to hear from God. I need God to speak to me once again. He spoke to me this morning, and the word that was given to me this morning was on point also. Who was the speaker? Got to make sure I tell you guys all the right things, because I don't want to cheap change nobody. Today's speaker. See, this is the good thing about being solo dolo. I have the opportunity to do stuff like this. Who was the speaker this morning? I got here kind of late, but I was able to get here just in time to hear and receive a word from God. Today, this morning at 12 o'clock, we had Dr. Janet Floyd, and she went through the house like a mad woman. God, when I got in here, I was mad that I was late, because I could only imagine what her full word was. But some of the things that she said that stuck out to me. I'm always trying to find a way to post something about somebody. Two things that she said today that was powerful is the access, acquisition, and accomplishment. How God is going to give us access to things that we need in this year, and we're going to be able to accomplish everything. And over again, she said prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. And for me, it was big because whenever she said it, and I actually saw her put that in act, and she actually gave me a word from God, and I saw other people that she gave a word from God to, and how accurate that was, and how she encouraged the body of Christ, and she encouraged my mother, my father, the leaders, Bishop Sherman C.G. Allen, and co-pastor Otanya, Dr. Otanya Allen, who spoke yesterday at the 12 o'clock service, and she was powerful also. Oh my God, she was powerful. But there's just so much going on this week. You still have time to get out here if you are not, if you are in the DFW area. Check out Christ Cathedral Church of Fort Worth on social media to where you can find out everything that's going on as opposed to the singers, the speakers, the location, everything that we have going on. We have vendors who are selling some dope merchandise also. Yes, that part. But tonight we have Dr. Valerie Moore, and I can only imagine what tonight's going to be like. I cried the night for Prophet Hall. I'm probably just going to be slaying out in the floor the whole service tonight. I don't know. But we're going to see in a couple hours, actually, in less than 2 hours. Let's talk about it. Um, today's show is, due to the fact that we are in service again on tonight, I don't know just how long we're gonna be, but like I said, if you are watching today, let me know that you're watching so I can shout you out, or if you have a comment about something that we're talking about, so we can, have fun for a little while. I am excited about this Sunday, but let me tell y'all why I am excited about this Sunday. I'm not necessarily a sports fan, but I am a fan of halftime shows, and I'm a fan of Kendrick Lamar, and I understand that this Sunday is going to be the first time a hip-hop artist has ever headlined the Super Bowl halftime show, and of course it's in New Orleans, Louisiana. Those of us who don't know, and I'm surprised but pleased at the same time to be able to know that you can watch the Super Bowl this year on Tubi, which is an absolute free uh, platform that you can download on your phone or on your TV and watch the Super Bowl this year. And everyone's wondering or trying to come up with the concept of what songs is he going to be doing, or what song is he not going to be doing. Everyone's saying that he's definitely going to do, the song, not like us. If that is true, it's not going to necessarily be a big surprise because we understand just recently the Grammys was on, and I actually need to go back and catch the full episode of the Grammys because, again, I was here in ministry at the church, so I didn't necessarily get to watch it, but let's go down the Grammy list, and then we'll go back to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick on that night swept, I want to say, every single category he was nominated in, which is no big surprise seeing how this year, well, last year leading up until now, he has had one of the greatest years or the greatest runs musically probably that he's had, as opposed to having, it's not even a complete album that is making him as big as he is or giving him the notoriety. He's really just doing this off of one song. Kendrick Lamar, although there were a lot of songs in the chorus of the back and forth with Drake, but the one song that everyone kind of clinged on to, and the industry clinged on to, and basically made it number one, is Not Like Us. And this year on the Grammys, let's go down his list of wins. If you are watching, you can definitely talk about this with me. He had Rap Song of the Year, which was Not Like Us. Music Video of the Year, which was Not Like Us. Rap Performance, which was Not Like Us. And Song of the Year, which was, Song 2025 was Not Like Us also. It's amazing how we be looking and thinking that it takes a whole lot in order to get the notoriety that Kendrick is getting now, or to be able to be on the platform as long as he has with the success that he has been given just through this one song. I say that because a lot of times we get mixed up in after we do something or we present something and we take it back because other people be like, no, this is not good enough. Especially if it's music, it don't sound right, or vocally you're not this person or whatever. But understanding that sometimes uh, people will tell you that what you're doing is not good enough if they're not a part of it. Let me say it again. Some people will tell you that what you are doing is not good enough, even though they know it is, but they don't want to give you the credit or give you the validation to let you know that what you're doing or where you are is enough, and what you're doing or where you are is effective. Who would have thunk it that one song out of everything that Kendrick Lamar done would have been the song to take him to the heights that he is now? No, I don't necessarily think that this is the song that made them want him to do the halftime show, due to the fact that Kendrick Lamar has been hot for a very long time. Everything that he's put out, to me personally, has been worthy of all the credit and validation that he has received. So I'm not, I'm definitely not a Kendrick hater. I'm not stunned on him or nothing like that. Congratulations with everything that he has going on. But for us, the individuals who are trying to find a way or trying to drown out certain voices or need to drown out certain voices because we have created things or we have said things that are really, really effective or really, really good, but because of the outside voices that we listen to that have told us that we are not that, the outside voices that we have listened to that have told us that what we have presented or what we have created is not good enough for the masses, or trying to change up the recipe in what we do. I believe that there's an audience for everybody. With that being said, of course, I said earlier how Tubi is being able to host the Super Bowl this year. I've been saying for the last month or two how whenever Tubi came out, Tubi was being dragged in the mud and dragged in the dirt from people saying how ghetto it was and how the videos and the movies that was on the platform wasn't worth it or shouldn't have been, because who gave the right to this movie, How I Got Away with Eating Turkey Bacon or something like that. But because Tubi understood the game, they understood the blueprint that they had. They believed that regardless to what the people were saying, because I'm not saying, 5 or 10 people. There was a lot of people all over the U.S. and probably all over the world dragging them because the quality of the content that they were putting out, as opposed to storylines and the actors and the actresses, was not your regular what you would see on a Netflix or what you would see on an Amazon movie or TV show. So people probably didn't think that Tubi would last or be around that long. But look where they are now with over 9 point something million subscribers, watching movies and becoming fans of movies that we never even thought or imagined we would be fans of. Some of the movies that I have watched on Tubi, had it just been something on, let's just say, YouTube, I probably would have never watched it because it didn't, in my mind, probably didn't fit the construction of what I thought a movie should look like on a platform like that. And then kudos to the individuals who submitted their movies to the TV shows. Submitted their movies to the platform, because although they've probably been, whenever those movies were first seen or first put out there, regardless to what the audience said, those who have either one movie or those who have a series, they didn't stop. Think about the people who we are watching every day on this platform, who 9 out of 10 were talked about even in the process of creating the film, who are like, no, don't put this out. It's not ready. Don't put this out. No one's going to watch it. Don't put this out. It doesn't make sense. But because the creator of that media, or because of the creator of that movie or that particular show, knew what the vision was that they received, they didn't bow down to what the public said. They didn't bow down to what probably people in their family or their friends or in their neighborhood or whatever. They didn't bow down and say, I'm not going to submit this because you guys told me it's not good enough. Imagine the number of movies that's on this platform right now that people told not to submit because ain't nobody gonna watch. And if we can go into their analytics to see how many people have actually watched this show or have actually watched this movie, it would probably surprise a whole bunch of us because in our minds, look, y'all movies were not all that. That's what we were saying. I'm not saying personally, but that's what a lot of individuals were saying. But again, the creator of that particular movie or TV show already had the blueprint or already had the ideal, and I'll just say it like this, had the ideal of what God showed them. And I understand that a lot of time people won't get the vision or won't understand the concept of something if it's not shown to them primarily, which means we have to work harder to understand or to confirm in ourselves that what we're doing is right. Because there are so many voices, going back to the voices that I was talking about earlier, there's so many other voices who will come in and tell us that what we're doing or what we're saying or what we are creating, whether it be music, whether it be clothing, whether it be health and fitness, whatever your brand is or whatever it is you do, because it doesn't fit the what's the word? It doesn't fit what everybody else think is right or what everybody else think is good or what everybody else thinks should be out there. We have to fight those voices because they don't understand the vision that God has given to us. No, I don't mean to, go all churchy or whatever, but hey, if it's in me, it's in me. We have to, and when I say we, I even mean myself because, again, this is an independent platform. This is something that I created and have been doing for 10 plus years. And of course, over the 10 years that I've been doing this has not always been easy, especially at the beginning of this thing, because whenever I started podcasting or I started doing media, it was at a time where it wasn't even heard of. Wasn't nobody thinking about it. There was no, I'm not going to say there was no, but Breakfast Club wasn't as big as it is then as it is now. Joe Rogan wasn't as big as it is then as he is now. Howard Stern have always had a platform, but it wasn't podcasting. He was just on TV. So whenever I started this and I got the no's and I got the it's not going to work, or I got the why are you even trying this? Yes, the voices infiltrated and got in my head and made me want to stop and made me want to give up, made me want to say, okay, they're right and everything that I'm hearing in my head is wrong. That's crazy how sometimes that happens. Like we'll know that what we're doing is right or what we're doing is called, but because a lot of the time the voices on the outside seem to be louder than the words that we tell ourselves. Sometimes it seems to be louder than the influence that we get whenever we're in our production place or whenever we're conjuring up what to do, or we're planning, writing, putting the show idea, the treatment on paper. And from that treatment to production to actual presentation, there are so many things that we go against, so many things that we have to fight against, so many things that we have to become deaf to, because if we don't, all of those things will get inside of our mind. And if you're not strong enough, and if you're not disciplined enough, would be a good word, you would allow those things that you hear or those things that you see that are contrary to what you're doing to make you doubt and sometimes even change your mind, to change the structure of what you're doing. And whenever we get into the place to where we're changing the structure of what we're doing based on everybody else, we lose our vision. And it's hard to keep up with everything that we're doing, everything that we're trying to accomplish, whenever we lose our vision based on what everybody else say. Sometimes we'll lose the vision because if no one else catches on to it with us, if no one else is able to say, yes, this is it, but we always hear no. You should tweak it and do this. You should tweak it and do that. We get in our minds that maybe they're right, especially if it's somebody who we think or consider to be higher than us in the industry that we're doing. Yes, there are some mentors that will point you in the right direction. Yes, I absolutely agree, and I have those in my life. But at the same time, there are people who will see how good you are going to be at it, how successful it's going to be, and will still tell you no. Don't forget, I said earlier, they'll tell you no, it's not good enough because they are not a part of it. And if they're not a part of it, they want to make sure that you don't succeed. They want to make sure that we don't succeed if they can't say, I was there when. They want to make sure that you don't succeed if they can't say, I helped write this particular strip, or I produced this, or I produced the music for it. So we have to, like I said, we have to keep the mindset that what we are doing is God given and God driven. And that our vision is our vision, and not to expect everybody else to actually believe or support the vision whenever they are not a part of it, because that will ruin everything that you are trying to do. So I would encourage you, don't be that person that says, okay, it's not working because everybody else was right about what I was doing and I was wrong, so let me change up. Then you change up, and that you don't even know how to follow the path of the change, because the change that you're doing has nothing to do with the original vision that God gave you. So then you have to try to figure it out, and then you lose the chemistry that you had originally because you're going a whole nother route. It's just like driving somewhere and you have a GPS that's telling you exactly where to go. They're telling you turn left here, go straight here, go 100 miles up, and yada, yada, yada. But because we get impatient, or because there's traffic and we see one exit that's before where we're supposed to get off, we take that exit off the interstate, and we feel like we can filter our way back around and get back on the interstate and keep on going straight. I've learned in my time of driving from Texas to Mississippi, or Texas to Louisiana, or Texas to Florida, or Texas to Atlanta, that sometimes whenever you get off that interstate, whenever you get off that course that the GPS is telling you go, and it's a for sure thing, that impatient person that don't want to be stuck in traffic, you'll get off an interstate and go down the street that has no path to get you back on the interstate ahead of you. So then you have to turn around and start all over again. Sometimes in life, whenever we have these things that we are trying to accomplish, these things, these visions, or these ambitions that we want to do, whenever we get impatient and we decide to listen to other people and take their course, take their direction instead of what the vision originally was, we get off course and we have to start all over again, which puts us back, and we have to work 10 times harder just to make it happen again, because then you have to filter out the vision that you took on that wasn't your vision in the first place. That's crazy. Whenever we already have the blueprint in front of us, we just have to understand that we have it, and we have to understand what it takes to get it done. And the number one thing it takes is patience. Later on in the show, I will be talking about the power that we have in our mouth, and how what we speak out of our mouth really can affect who we are and what we do. But before we do that, I gotta talk about this situation that happened recently, where congratulations, first of all, to Beyonce. I understand just from seeing over the years how being wait, before we do that, let's do this. Today's show sponsor, let me make sure I put that out there for you guys. Today's sponsor for the intro podcast is Diane Klein. She is a independent associate with Legal Shield, offering legal services for $29.95 a month, identity theft for $19.95 a month. They assist with moving violations, contracts, and more. To get in contact with Diane Klein, call 214-881-5225. Again, that is 214-881-5225. Diane Klein's Legal Shield. Call her today. I have used the service, so I know that I know that it is real. But back to it. Congratulations to Beyonce this year. I know I'm a tad bit behind schedule, but I haven't been able to do what I want to do because I've been in church. Been trying to get my life right, y'all. But this year, Beyonce finally won Album of the Year with Cowboy Carter. I understand last year Jay-Z was up during the Grammys and he made a speech and he was like, to have received as many awards that this young lady has received and have never received a album of the year was ridiculous. And whenever you think about it, it's really true. Like Beyonce has won so many Grammys, but it's kind of like the gate guards would only let her go so far to not allow her to win the album of the year, rather than giving it to Adele one year, who said that she should have had it, or Taylor Swift, or another person in the industry who is probably not my color. You feel me? Just being real about it. But this year, congratulations to Beyonce for winning Album of the Year. She also won. All right, so she won the Country Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. She won album Country Duo group performance for Most Wanted. I think that was with Miley Cyrus. So congratulations. And for those of us who, or for those of you who still have a problem with the fact that she won, why? Like, to be a person who has won so many awards and who have affected so many lives with her music and have sold so many copies, and the concerts are being sold out all over the world, what happened? In your own words, I know that there's someone who basically came out and said, well, she's not country. She doesn't do country music. If I'm not mistaken, although this is the first full country album she's done, she's had country songs featured on other projects that she's done. But also at the same time, don't forget where country music first originated from. Not gonna get too deep into it, but we can't disqualify Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter for everything that she has done. So we congratulate you again for your win this year. Do me a favor, give me one quick second, and I'll be right back. This is your boy Tazz. This is the Intro Podcast. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz, and you are listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. We are back today. I mentioned earlier that my deep dive for today's show. Of course, we don't have any interviews today, nor do we have any co-hosts. So you just, you're kicking it with your boy. So I appreciate you guys for doing so. Those of you who are online while I am live and you're talking to me, thank you so much for doing that and being that for me on today. I need your company. I've been able to, hold on, y'all. I've been able to attend this week Prophetic Summit 30 with Christ Cathedral Church of Fort Worth, Bishop Sherman C.G. Allen, and co-pastor Dr. Otanya Allen, and it has been wonderful. God has moved and done some really, really big things. If you are in the DFW area and you would like to attend, please do me a favor and go to Christ Cathedral Church, or you can even look on my personal page on Facebook to find out all the information. Tonight we have Valerie Moore that's going to be in the house, and it's going to be epic, unbelievable. But in the deep dive before we go today, I told you guys earlier we were talking about the power of positivity. I had to think about that. And I just wanted to go there for a couple seconds before we end today's show. Um, I said earlier, in the course of what we do in our lives, or in the course of who we are, we have to be we have to remind ourselves of who we are, what we do, and why we do it. We have to remind ourselves constantly of the vision that we have. I forgot to tell you guys. So yes, I am still wearing the compression um, for my arm, but I'm no longer wearing the hard cast because I just believe after Prophet Todd Hall and Dr. Otanya, my mother, and Bishop Allen, I'm walking in the healing that God has given me. So I'm excited about that. So you guys see that this is why. But let's talk about it for a quick second. The power of your voice is like a superpower that we all carry within us. It's those vibrations, the energy, the intent behind our words that can really create ripples in our lives and the lives of others. Think about it. When we talk positivity, it's like planting seeds in the garden of our existence. Our words have the power to inspire, to heal, and to motivate. When you use your voice to uplift others or even yourself, you're essentially harnessing the energy to bring about positive change. It's like sharing the ideals, sharing stories of resilience, hope, and overcoming challenges that could really resonate with people that are around us. Exploring how others throughout history have contributed to change just by things that they've said. Whenever you think of people like Martin Luther King, think of people like Malcolm X, or even more recently, you think about people like Vice President Harris, and you think about Barack and Michelle Obama, or you just people who have used their voice to speak out positive things and see change happen. Although in some cases the change didn't stay long, not because of them, but because who came after them. Let's go down a little bit more. Da, 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 da. Maybe exploring how the voices throughout history have contributed to change can add layers to the dialogue. It's like how we choose this power filtering out negativity, amplifying the good vibes, and speaking life into our dreams and goals. It's like, for me, I learned the positive, like my personal deal and my personal testimony with positivity in speaking recently came whenever I was last year when I was hit with or first faced with Bell's palsy, which caused the left side of my face to completely go dead. And even now, we're still dealing with the ramifications of that. But in the midst of me going through that, I had the option to do one or two things: to speak life into myself or speak death into myself. I had the option to speak strength or to give up. And for me, it was easy for me to say, I'm going to make it, I'm going to be okay. After I went through the whole course of why me, and this is this, I'm never going to heal, I'm never going to be all right. Even after I got out of the hospital, hearing that the doctors told me that it was going to take, probably 3-4 months or whatever, and you'll be good. But I'm coming up on a year still dealing with the same thing, the same affliction, the same pain, the same discomfort. But I had to get in my mind and in my mouth to speak that I am going to be healed, to speak that things are going to be different for me because of what I believe. What I do in my life is based off of what I believe and who I believe in. It's not as just honestly, it's not all the time easy, especially whenever what you see and what you say don't necessarily look the same. It don't like it. There's no resemblance in you saying you're going to be healed, but you're in pain. It makes no sense sometimes in saying that you're going to be wealthy whenever you don't have a dime in your pocket. But we have to understand that the power that's in our tongue, or the power that's in our mouth or the power that's in the words that we say can create an environment or can create an atmosphere for change. Once I start saying to myself that, no, I'm not going to die. No, I'm not going to be in this situation all for a very long time. Whenever I first started the recovery process, I literally had to talk myself out of depression. I had to talk myself out of defeat because all I saw when I looked in the mirror was a face that wasn't working. When I would eat something, all I had was a one side of my mouth that was able to taste the food, or one side of my face where the eye was blinking totally and the other one wasn't blinking at all. So contrary to what I was saying, what I was seeing was totally different. But I believe the only reason why I'm still here now is because I was able to not look at what was in front of me, but look what was coming ahead of me and speak that into existence. No, I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely not where I was this time last year. Like I have accomplished the mental battle of getting over it. I have accomplished the mental battle of wanting to give up. I've accomplished the mental battle of not wanting to get back in front of a camera because what you guys saw 2 years ago, as opposed to my face and my mouth and my eyes, is totally different to what you guys see even right now. But through the power of my positive speaking to myself, it's like Donald Lawrence said in the song, sometimes you have to encourage you. I had to encourage myself because I was in a place to where if I didn't know that, or if I didn't know how to say it, or if I didn't have the words to speak positivity into my life, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. As a matter of fact, I'd probably just still be in my home trying to figure out a way to make it happen because it didn't seem like there was a way. But I'm excited because I understand that through the teachings that I've received over the years, I'm not new to this church thing. I'm not new to it. I've been doing this I've been running for Jesus a long time. And I'm not tired yet. But I understand that there are certain scriptures that come to mind whenever I'm in a bad situation. In my time of weakness, is His strength made perfect? Or no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Or I know the plans that I have for your life. Plans to those things come to mind for me, and that's how I get out of the jam. That's how I get out of depression. That's how I get out of defeat. That's how I get out of wanting to give up whenever I am in a situation where that is what I want. The power of words. There's a song that I used to sing all the time that says, give thanks with a grateful heart. The ending of the song says, and now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich. Let the sick say I am healed. We have to speak different than what we see a lot of times. Because what we see a lot of times it doesn't make sense. Like even right now in the USA right now, that's because of the whole government and the presidential situation. We see what we see with our eyes. We see what they're trying to take away. We see what they're trying to abolish. We see what they're trying to do away with. We see what they're trying to cancel, who they're trying to cancel, who they're trying to kick out. We see all of that, but what are we actually saying? Because if we say what we see, yeah, we will be defeated. If we say what we see, no, with change probably really won't come no time soon. Or not even to say that, but if we don't say what faith tells us, or if we don't say what we want to see in the future, we will become stagnant in where we are. And although it's an uncomfortable situation, we'll become comfortable in it. We'll become comfortable in having somebody tell us where we can buy food from, or where we can work, where we can't work, who we can vote for, who we can't vote for, who we can support, who we can't support. We'll become comfortable in that if we don't understand words to say that, make sure that we never get there. That's power in your words. Let's talk about this before we go one more time. Careers. I'm really, really big on speaking careers and ambitions and goals into fruition because a lot of times because of the way we were raised or the atmosphere that we were raised around, or the habits that people had that we were raised around, filter in to us later on in life if we don't have the ability or we don't know what to do or what to say to avoid it. I come from a place I've never really had a whole bunch. But I remember growing up younger, living in Mississippi or living in Louisiana. The house that we had in Mississippi was made of tin, Tin. Yes, the roof was made of tin. It was, it was a house. And surprisingly, it's still standing now. Or even growing up in Louisiana, we lived in the trailers, we lived in the duplexes. We were able to do. For me, what I consider what my mom knew to do. My mom was a hardworking individual. She didn't give up and give in because of the surroundings. She made do with it. And when I say she made do with it, she made it happen. And I'm glad that I had her in my life to show me how, regardless to where we were growing up, I really didn't know that we were poor. I really didn't know that we couldn't afford things because she would always find a way to make it happen. She would always find a way to, even whenever it took words to change our mindset as her kids. She always knew what to say. She always knew what to do. That didn't, so it didn't allow us to get stuck in the mental place to say, well, this is how I am, or my environment as a kid, so I'm just gonna carry this the rest of my life. I tell people, if you see me now and you know me from back whenever I lived on 6th Avenue in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where you see me now, you'll be like, dang, boy, you doing the thing. If you hear me now singing wise, or you hear me playing wise, or you see what I'm doing in the podcast TV industry, and you know me from where I come from, you would really, really think I've made it. Because I didn't have the availability. I was the person, I wanted computers, I wanted typewriters and everything. So I would go to places who was throwing stuff away that probably was broke or on its last leg of working, and completely take it apart and try to put it back together to make it work, because I knew what I wanted to accomplish later on in life. I'll say this, a lot of times those things that I took apart, my mom's brand new VCRs and stuff like that, didn't always come back right. And I got beat down a whole bunch for it. But I think that because I was able to go down that road and know what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be, it shapes me to be the individual that I am now, to where if something doesn't go right now, I know how to speak positivity into it and have patience until it changes. See, that's another thing that comes along in the course of the power of your voice, having the patience to not only having the power to say it, but having the patience to wait for it to happen. Because things don't happen overnight. I tell people all the time, I tell music artists, like, you're good at what you do. You have a nice flow. Your production is good. But don't get into this industry thinking that just because TikTok is what it is, that you're going to post one video and you're going to be a millionaire the next day, next week, month, or year. Because there's a process to it. So in that process, we have to have patience. We have to be willing to wait. We have to be willing. And while we're waiting, we have to be in a mental state to learn. Because we can't get in thinking we know everything, because by the time a door opens and we can do something, if we're not up on the latest knowledge of whatever that is, then you get there and you looking dumb because you're still trying to operate on last year. And where the technology or where the industry is now, what you would get on stage and do, it's old. It doesn't make sense anymore. So what happens whenever we're in those situations? If we are not learning, if we're not consistently trying, we just become stagnant. And becoming stagnant, you know what happens there? You either gonna learn or you gonna die right there. You're gonna be defeated right there. You're not going to know what to say, or if you don't know what to say, you just become whatever that situation is. And I'm not a fan of that. I promise y'all I'm not. So I would encourage you guys that are listening to this, if it's you or somebody that you know, do me a favor and share today's show. It's your boy Tazz. You are listening to or watching the intro podcast. Let's talk about the sponsor one more time. Today's sponsor for the intro podcast is Diane Klein. She is a independent associate with Legal Shield, offering legal services for $29.95, identity theft for $19.95. They assist with moving violations, wills, contracts, and practically anything that you need legal for. It's not a lot of money, trust me. And the service is very, very good. I have used Legal Shield over the years, and I use them now for contracts for business, for my music, for everything that I do. So yes, it works. It works. Do me a favor and follow us on social media. Spotlight Podcast Network on all social media. That is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow us today. And if you are on the podcast network right now, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, do me a favor. You can subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcast. Click that little bell so that you can be alerted every time we either live or whenever we're posting another show on YouTube. But definitely click the subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the iHeart, so that whenever we publish a show, you will be in the know and be one of the first to get it. Because we don't want you to miss out because you haven't subscribed. Are you serious? But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show. Those of you who have chatted with me online, thank you guys a bunch. Myself, I forgot to tell y'all, follow me personally on social media. I am Trevayne. That's I am TREVAYNE on all platforms. And my music is also I am Trevayne, which is on all platforms also. If you guys like some good R&B, neo soul, but of course we are coming out with some inspirational, some gospel stuff that will also bleed your ears in the best way ever. If you are in the DFW area once again and you are looking for something to do tonight, if you're looking for a word from God, do me a favor and find me tonight at Christ Cathedral Church of Fort Worth. Tonight's speaker again is Valerie Moore. You can go to my Facebook page and you can see the banner to get all the information on the address. And you can look at past videos from this week of who we've had and how the service has been, whether it's a 12 o'clock service or a night service. I would love to see you guys. If by some chance you do pop up, do me a favor before you pop up. Let your boy know that you're going to be in the house so that I can see you, say hey to you, and all of that good stuff. I thank you guys once again for being a part of today's show, for listening. So you guys more want to come on now. But if you are listening or you are watching now, do me a favor and let me know so that I can shout you out before we leave. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys coming in at the end of the show. But although it's the end of the show, we still going to talk for a couple more minutes so that you guys can get your shout out. Okay, that's what we're going to do right there. But do me a favor, watch with me the Super Bowl. I'm not going to be able to watch the entire Super Bowl, but I need somebody to watch it who can come on Monday morning to help me with some highlights of what happened in the game, because I'm going to be in church during the Super Bowl. So I can't even see the halftime show, although I know it's going to be on everybody's timeline. And time is over with. YouTube is going to have a clip, or somebody on TikTok is going to have a clip. But I need to know what is going on. If you have a show idea or you're looking for a way to get more information about how to expand your audience, or you're looking for a platform that you can monetize your content, we also have Spotlight TV. Right now it is a web-based platform, but we are looking to move very, very soon to app and TV. But for more information on that, you can email me at spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com, or whatever platform or social media you catch this on. You can inbox me and I can send you information for that, whether it be for yourself or whatever. If you are an author, a music artist, entrepreneur, and you just want a platform to where you can just come and sit down and talk about who you are and what you do, hey, what's up? Nah, seriously, we are that also. You do not necessarily have to be in the DFW, although I love my live audience. So if you are in the DFW and you would like to come and sit down and talk with me, do me a favor and do so. You can send me an email again, like I said, spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com. If you're not in the DFW and you still want this platform, you can hit us up and we can definitely do a virtual show, which will still, it's all the same. We ain't taking nothing from you. We're going to still give you the service and the exposure that you deserve. I do believe in being able to help the independent person who has a wonderful product but don't necessarily have the audience that they want. Whenever I created this brand over 10 years ago, it was literally created to be that avenue, to be that road, to help you expand your audience, make some money, so that we don't necessarily always have to depend on the government, because, hey, I'm not even going to get into that. They already trying to take everything from us. So we should be self-sufficient, right? So for me to help you guys be self-sufficient, whatever your brand is, if you're looking to expand your audience, I want to help you do that. I said that out loud, and I said it with my chest. I want to help you do that. So do me a favor and contact me. Once again, it's your boy Tazz. Let me go right there. It's your boy Tazz. This is the Intro Podcast. I thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show. Share this link with someone you know. Holla.